Hello and welcome to this special episode marking Bahraini Women's Day. I'm Khalid Hidris, and today we will be shedding light on some outstanding Bahraini women who have made various accomplishments in the various fields of comprehensive development marked on December 1st to this day, which was officially announced in 2008 by the Kingdom of Bahrain's First Lady, wife of His Majesty the King, and President of the Supreme Council for Women, Her Royal Highness Princess Sabiha bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa. Bahraini Women's Day is a remarkable national occasion that is annually celebrated across the kingdom on the 1st of December to commemorate the outstanding achievements and remarkable contribution of Bahraini women to the comprehensive development of Bahrain. A march of progress in a dedicated nation. Stay with us as we showcase some of these great accomplishments.
Bahraini women have a long history of outstanding achievements and a long list of success stories. They are openly ambitious and always ready to move forward and carry on the pivotal role that the earlier generations have assumed with confidence. The drive to keep advancing and achieving is fully supported by His Majesty the King, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and Her Royal Highness Princess Sabiha bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women. Reem AlBastaki is the first Bahraini woman to hold a degree in environment engineering, has been working in the field for 8 years, and has been actively involved in providing solutions toward environmental conservation and protection in the industrial sector.
I am always passionate about science and engineering, so I wanted to specialize in a field where it has a combination of both. So when I stepped upon this degree, I felt it aligns with my values and my personal interests. A lot of people ask me, why would you want to specialize in this field? It's rare. How are you going to help Bahrain? Where are you going to work? So I was like, I really feel excited when I come across a complex challenge. So I wanted to take that challenge, and alhamdulillah, the doors were open for me. As soon as I graduated, I got offers from different industries, and I'm very grateful that I'm working with GPIC at the moment.
AlBastaki works in the field of environmental management, where she follows up environmental compliance and emissions in addition to managing liquid waste.
Being in a field that is predominantly male-dominated has been a challenge initially. However, the company has supported me, the management, the leadership, as well as my colleagues have supported me to further excel and grow in this field. And they have equipped me with all the training, they've invested in my professional growth, they've equipped me with all the tools and resources in order I can further excel in this career and give back to the company as well as the community.
In addition to her daily tasks, she actively participates in corporate social responsibility programs where she works as a volunteer in presenting environmental lectures and follows the environmental research programs for school, which the company implements in cooperation with Education Ministry. She also works to follow up on the Green Wave campaign, which is implemented in cooperation with the United Nations Environment Programme. Bahrain celebrates Bahraini Women's Day on the 1st of December of every year, and this year's celebration comes under the theme Women and Comprehensive Development.
On this special occasion, the Bahraini women deserve to celebrate what we have achieved so far and to continue pushing boundaries and excel in our career aspiration and pursue our dreams. I have received a lot of support, and I have to extend my sincere gratitude for Her Royal Highness Princess Sabiha bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa for her continuous support towards the Bahraini women. And I have been recognized by the Supreme Council for Women as a testament for women in the field of engineering back in 2017, under the specifically under rare and new emerging specialties. That has actually boosted my confidence and inspired me to continue breaking barriers and paving the way for women in this field. We are fortunate in Bahrain to live in a society where the opportunities are abundant and the sky is truly the limit. The platform and resources are there for us to grow, develop, and pursue our aspiring careers. And I have been very fortunate to work at the Gulf Petrochemical Industries, where I have received all the support in order to further excel in this career and in this field, which I'm very passionate about. I have also been given the opportunity to be a part of the Bahraini delegation during the Conference of Parties, COP27, and I'm really excited to be also contributing as part of the Bahraini delegation in the COP28. And participating in such global forums and getting involved in discussions about climate change and environmental sustainability at an international level has been very grateful for me, and I have experienced tremendous support from everyone.
Bahraini Women's Day remains a national occasion that highlights the development impact achieved by women and introduces their success stories in a way that reflects positively on the comprehensive development indicators. Reporting for Bahrain International, this is Fatma Najm.
We are pleased to welcome here at the studio one of the leading young Bahraini women figures in the financial field, the business and communication strategist and the co-founder of Daleel, Dania Al Shuwaikh. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You are very passionate about making finance easy and accessible for everyone, really. Can you tell us a little bit more about your efforts in this regard?
Absolutely. So if you look at the actual numbers, you'll find that our financial literacy rates and well-being numbers, statistics are very, very low in the MENA region. We're talking about 20% or 30% in different parts of the MENA region in comparison to Western countries where they have it at 70%. And the issue isn't that people are not educated. We're very educated. Most people here have at least undergrad degrees. The issue is our relationship with money. We started Daleel to get people more comfortable with that, have a more transparent community, because we need to be transparent. Whether people are doing good or doing bad, we need to talk about it so that other people can learn from our experiences.
And to go back a little bit, was there a specific point or a specific incident that gave you the idea to go down this route?
Yeah, so my co-founders and I actually built and scaled another startup before. So we've been in the space for quite a bit, and when Bahrain has been at the forefront of the FinTech agenda in terms of the development, whether from a regulatory perspective or whatnot. So we have a lot of exciting meetings in boardrooms and whatnot talking about the FinTech agenda for Bahrain, very advanced use cases of technology. But while we were having all of these discussions in these meeting rooms, I was trying to find a credit card for myself. And I sat there thinking, if we're talking about very advanced use cases of technology and the basic of applying for a credit card is this difficult, someone needs to do something about it. So we decided to take the plunge and create a platform where on one side we're helping users find the best financial products for them. So where if you're looking for a credit card, a loan, or even want to get into crypto, you download this free application that would compare all of the different products available in the market, and you can find what's best for you as a consumer. But what's interesting is we're working with banks and financial institutions where they can leverage insights and they can target customers more effectively through our platform.
Did you always see yourself going down this route growing up?
No, not while I was doing it, but now that I reflect back, I could see that little young Dania entrepreneur. I used to create friendship bracelets and and they would be on sale. I'll be selling them to my friends and family. So little Dania always wanted, I think, to have financial independence. But I think like any other Bahraini, when we graduate university, the first thought is, okay, let me just join to the workforce and work for another company, probably prep myself in that, and then maybe one day start something on my own. I, to be honest, didn't expect it to come this fast.
Well, that's a brilliant turn of events then. Yeah. And to go back to Daleel, can you give us an idea of its significance on the entire, its services and the significance it has on the user?
I think we've had great traction. We're very close to our community, so we run these workshops and these events regularly. Our users come to us, they tell us, you know what, before Daleel, I didn't understand this or I didn't understand that. Now I feel like I have the right platform, the right tool that gives me the right knowledge for me to make more informed financial decisions. And I think in the same vein as well, banks and financial institutions also now have a tool that allows them to compare their product performance versus competitors in the market. So I think we've gotten positive feedback from both sides. But I think we're also just in the start, in the beginning of our journey. There is a lot yet to come, which I'm very excited about.
Definitely. And I can imagine with a field such as this, there's a lot constantly changing. right? I mean, even when you look at stuff like currency, very tempestuous field, money. I mean, it's always kind of changing. How do you keep up with that?
That's a very interesting question. I mean, we have a full team that needs to be checking if there's anything new coming into the market. Being in any startup, not just in fintech, things are changing all the time. It is a very unpredictable landscape, so I think we got used to it. We have people just checking out every single day if there's anything new coming out, if there's a need for us to add it to the platform.
And do you have like a framework to adapt these changes into your model?
So yes, I think anyone who's in the startup world has probably read the Lean Startup book. It's a whole kind of method into how you go about building things. We say we build, measure, learn, and then iterate. So you're not going to get it right from the first time, but the trick is you have to measure, learn from that, and then iterate what you initially built.
Brilliant. I mean, I wouldn't have known how to answer that myself. So, I mean, it's really interesting to see how much thought you've put into it. Because like I said, I mean, and you know this a lot better than I do, definitely, because I've told you earlier, this is not really a field I'm very aware of. I mean, to see that you've taken all of these variables into account and you're actually able to iterate changes according to them, I just think that that's fantastic. Now, what plans do you have to further develop Daleel?
A lot of exciting plans. We are looking into getting certain licenses that will help us make the experience on Daleel a lot more intuitive and personalized. We are also looking at expansion across the GCC initially and then into the MENA region. We've proven our product. We've proven that people need something like Daleel, and now it's all about scaling it to the next level.
And on like mentioning Daleel, I'm a little interested. How did you come up with the name?
You'd think that it was such an easy name because, I mean, Daleel is guide in Arabic and this is your financial Daleel. So you'd think that we just thought of it in like a day, but not really. We went into an entire brainstorming process for us to get to that. But then eventually, I don't know if you remember the yellow pages that we had, the Daleel that every Bahraini had at home. We thought of the same concept, but for the financial services, where this becomes your Daleel into making the best financial decisions.
Brilliant. I mean, I think that it's a really clever name, and I think it's also quite quick and to the point, so it sticks in the mind.
And we definitely wanted something بالعربي, because a lot of startups, maybe before the direction was to go for more English-sounding names so that it looks like it's out of Silicon Valley. But we wanted to honor our identity being a Bahraini-based brand and a brand that has been created for the MENA region specifically.
I feel like you definitely achieved that because, I mean, these days a lot of people, particularly in our part of the world, they're bilingual. So they'll recognize the name regardless, and it kind of has that that sound to it. It sounds quite, I don't know if this is just me, but it sounds quite technical, which I think is great for keeping an impression in your user base's mind. Now, from your point of view, what are challenges that some women might face when working in the financial technology field, and what suggestions would you have to overcome them?
I mean, the reality is it is a very male-dominated sector. So, I mean, that is just the reality. And it is difficult, it can be challenging, it is an uphill battle because it's so much harder for us to build these relationships, nurture these relationships. I have a lot more boundaries with my male colleagues than they have between each other, and that's normal within the community, right? But I think it hasn't stopped me in trying to be part of the sector and try to change something in between that. I think once we accept that this is probably a part of the current culture dynamics of the sector, and then how can we overcome that? We need more women to be able to take on that challenge so that we can change and have more representation so that it becomes a lot more diverse and a lot more balanced than what it is right now.
I think that that's very eloquently said, and you know, sometimes, you know, as men, sometimes we don't always think about, you know, that wouldn't even be something I would think about, for example, right?
Just as simple as something like sending a WhatsApp message, for example, to a client. If I'm doing it after a certain hour, I'm like, does this cross the line? And I double check that with my male colleagues. They don't think of these things, but there's a lot that we have to think about. And I'm not here to complain or anything. I'm just saying that this is the reality of what it is currently. And I think people need to be aware that it is challenging, because sometimes people go like, they roll their eyes and like, oh my God, they talk about gender disparity yet again. But if you look at the actual numbers, it's still quite bad. we're talking about only 12% of FinTech co-founders and founders are women, and only 1.9% of VC funding ends up getting to women. So there is a problem, but let's not complain. Let's recognize the problem and find solutions for it.
And did you ever feel at any point, and this might be a bit of a personal question, but did you ever feel at any point that, you know, like your gender maybe held you back, even if it wasn't an actual tangible challenge? But did you ever feel, for example, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, or you felt like there was something telling you that you shouldn't? And if you did, how did you overcome that feeling?
Did something happen, like something big happen? No, but like it's these small considerations that I feel like take up my time and effort into why am I overthinking this message, or why am I overthinking this email or this interaction, for example. So that definitely existed, but for me personally, age I think was a bigger problem than gender, because oh my god, what's this kid doing in the financial services sector? Does she really think that she can change things around there? So for me personally, while yeah, gender played a role, but it has been like small things here and there, age was a bigger obstacle in my way.
Yeah, and I imagine that's quite a universal one as well. Generally, there does tend to be that disparity between, for example, different generations and the like. Now, you were mentioning earlier that there aren't, the numbers speak for themselves, and there are less women, for example, in FinTech. Do you have any role models in the industry or in other industries who kind of inspired you along this journey?
That's a very interesting question, and this might look really bad, but no, I don't think I have, to be honest. I'm not going to make something up here. I don't think I have specific like role models into who I want to be, but I think there have been very strong women, yes, that not necessarily people that I've met personally only, but people that I see on the internet and whatnot that have inspired me, people with huge businesses and whatnot. But I think more than anything, it's the women that I meet on a daily basis within the sector, because I see that we face the same challenges. I see them trying over and over and over again. I value these women within my ecosystem, within my sector, a lot more than just people I see on the internet, to be honest, because we all share the same sentiment, and just to see all of us keep trying over and over and over again to get there maybe one day, I really respect that.
I actually really liked your answer. I think that that's a very human approach to it. Because I think role models are very important and everything, but obviously it's like you said, it's kind of more about seeing someone in action. And I think you get less of a false image, because I mean, any kind of role model, you can kind of, it's like that expression, don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
You know, whereas when you're actually seeing someone engaged in the field, I imagine that that's a lot more rewarding.
And I think you can learn a lot from people, like different things from different people as well. So I feel like my grandmother played a big role, because she was illiterate. She didn't get the chance to go to university. She didn't get the chance to go to school. So she is the one who always pushed us in that direction. Allah yarhamha, she passed away a couple of years ago, but I think she played a big role, because she used to tell us when we were kids, just make sure you put your education first and go out after what you want to do, because I didn't get the chance to do that. So I feel like having these very strong women around me has really helped me as well in that. And in a recent reflection into why I got into entrepreneurship and why I decided to create Daleel with my co-founders. I have another woman co-founder as well, Rida, and I have PK as well with me on the founding team. He is actually the one who pushed the both of us, me and Rida, to start Daleel. And initially we doubted ourselves. No, it's too early, we can't do that. But he was like, no, I believe in you guys, we can do this together. And I think sometimes when I share this story with the other women I have as well, other women entrepreneurs that I talk to on a weekly basis, we don't believe probably in ourselves as much as we should. And it's a bit sad that I had to wait for someone else's validation to tell me that you can actually get into this space and you can actually create something of your own. So if there's anything that I'd want to do is probably tell other people that, no, you think you need to believe in yourself a lot more. You want to have everything figured out, but you need to start from somewhere.
Brilliant. And I kind of want to cycle back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of, for example, role models and the like. How important do you think, or how much do you think that we should be prioritizing sharing the success stories of women in fields such as FinTech?
There's a saying that says, seeing is believing. And I really, really believe in that. The more we see, the more we believe in it. Representation, there's a lot of research around that, around how representation truly creates a big impact on people. So I think we should be pushing for that. One, it's again supporting these women that have taken that leap of faith, supporting their businesses, but then on the other hand, exposing all of that to the younger generation so that they can see it is actually possible for us to do this, or it is actually possible for us to do that. So I think representation is key.
Perfect, and hopefully one day your story will be among those stories of representation. Now, I also want to ask you a little bit about being a Bahraini woman. What do you feel, what are some of the supports, or what are some of the benefits of being a woman in Bahraini society that may have helped you achieve what you have?
I think we're very, very lucky to be in Bahrain, to be honest. There are Tamkeen grants specifically for Bahraini women. So when I talked about that financial support, alhamdulillah, we have organizations here already working on it. The government direction in terms of that as well, has really played a big role in empowering not just me, but all the women I see in Bahrain as well. Recently, I was part of Forbes 30 Under 30, and 5 Bahraini young talent were within that list. Out of those 5 Bahraini people, 3 of us were women. So I think that is a testament that women in Bahrain are supported. So I feel very, very lucky and grateful to be part of this beautiful country.
I think that that is very beautifully said. And, you know, before we wrap up, I would like to ask you, what message would you like to give to women of all ages, really? I mean, not just young women, but any woman of any age in the Kingdom of Bahrain and beyond. What message would you like to give them?
It goes back to me reflecting recently. It's believe in yourself and don't be afraid to take up space. That's all I would say.
I think that that was simple but very effective. I personally can't wait to see what happens next, especially with Daleel, and we hope to have you and other amazing women from Bahrain back on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, don't go away. We'll be right back with more on Bahrain Now. The achievements of Bahraini women confirm the vision of the Kingdom of Bahrain that women are partners in building a state that looks like the future on a firm foundation based on giving, extending from the contributions of the past to the aspirations of the present and the future. And marking this occasion, we extend our thanks and appreciation for the support Bahraini women are receiving to excel in all fields in service of their country. This brings us to the end of this special episode. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Bahraini Women's Day. Goodbye.